Bonjour tout le monde. Today in French we are going to look at reflexive verbs. In French, some verbs show an action that we do to ourselves, like having a shower, like waking ourselves up, like taking ourselves off to bed, or getting up out of bed. Or they are used to show an action that we do with someone else, like getting on well with someone or arguing with someone. And these are called reflexive verbs. One of the first things you learnt in French included a reflexive verb. Let's have a look at this. Comment t'appelles-tu? Je m'appelle Anne. This is about asking someone their name. But what it's literally saying is, how do you call yourself? And the answer is, I myself call Anne. And this circled letter in front of the verb is your reflexive pronoun, okay? And that's going to be the key difference that you'll notice with reflexive verbs, is that we have what we call the reflexive pronoun. So let's have a look at some useful verbs when we're talking about family, friends and relationships that are reflexive, okay? You will notice immediately that all these verbs have a reflexive pronoun in front of them. I've also given you the translation, but they're all about how we get on with people, get on well, get on badly, to love each other, to have fun with someone, to get angry, to argue, or to bicker with someone. Sometimes our reflexive pronoun has to start with an S apostrophe when the verb begins with a vowel. You're used to seeing this in French. Otherwise, the reflexive pronoun looks like that. So when you conjugate your verb, you do it as normal. Your ER, your RE, your IR verbs, okay? But you have to change the reflexive pronoun as well. So here we go. I've taken the verb se disputer avec, to argue with. So obviously we're arguing with someone. And as you can see here, this is a nice regular ER verb. It is doing what you would expect it to do. But I have to include my reflexive pronoun between the pronoun, the person who is doing the arguing, and the actual bit of the verb, okay? So we've got the usual je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, il, elle, okay? So I'm just going to fill out this table with the translation. So je me dispute, I argue. Tu te disputes, you argue fine. Il, elle se dispute, he or she argues. On and nous both can be translated as we. On se dispute, we argue. So nous nous disputons is also we argue. Vous vous disputez, you plural or you formal argue. And then il or elle, how do we translate il and elle when there's an S on the end? That's right, they argue. Okay, so this, which I've highlighted, is the key thing that you need to remember when forming a reflexive verb. Let's see how they look in practice. We're going to circle the reflexive pronoun and translate the sentences into English. So the reflexive pronoun is going to be sitting right in front of the verb, okay? So here's our first one. Je me dispute avec mes frères. Se disputer means to argue with, right? I argue with my brothers. Next one. Je me dispute avec mes sœurs. Okay, there's our reflexive pronoun. Let's circle that. This time, I argue with my sisters. We've got a different one here. Our reflexive pronoun is again in front of the verb, but because the verb begins with a vowel, it has to be M apostrophe. Je m'amuse tous les jours. Let's have a look back at our original list of verbs. S'amuser avec, to have fun with. We don't have a with here, so it's just I have fun tous les jours, every day. Okay. Je m'entends bien avec mes parents. Again, our verb starts with a vowel. There's our reflexive pronoun. I forgot to circle that one. Je m'entends bien avec mes parents. Let's have a look. There it is. S'entendre bien, to get on well. It could be to get on badly, but this time we've got bien. I get on well with my parents. Okay, if you feel confident about spotting the reflexive pronoun and translating using your sheet, your crib sheet, pause the video and off you go. I'm going to finish doing this. And the last one, s'aimer, to love each other. En, as we can see from our chart, can mean we. So on s'aime, it's a great little one. We love each other. Okay, good. There we go. So in each one of those, we've circled the reflexive pronoun and we have translated it. Okay, let's have a look at our next task. Again, keeping our crib sheet at hand. Find the reflexive pronoun, correct the mistake and translate. So there's going to be a mistake with our reflexive pronoun. So here's our verb. Je se fâche avec mon ami. We know that that is the reflexive pronoun, so I'm going to circle that. We're using je, so I'm going to go back to this sheet and have a look. Je, it should be me. Okay, so here I'm going to put me, and I'm going to translate this as I get angry with my friend. Next one. Je s'amuse bien avec mes amis. Okay, so this verb starts with a vowel, so it's looking a little bit different from the one before, but I know enough now to circle that as the reflexive pronoun. I also know enough to see that there's a mistake here because we have to use me with je. We have to be careful here. It's going to be je m'amuse. Okay, so I'm going to write that out underneath. Okay, je m'amuse bien avec mes amis. I have fun with my friends. Okay, nous se disputons souvent. There's our reflexive pronoun right in front of the verb. But let's have a look. Now, nous is one of those funny ones where in fact we just repeat nous. So our reflexive pronoun is this nous. Okay, so it ends up as nous disputons. And it means we argue often. Okay, nous se chamaillons. We can see now immediately that we've got the same mistake repeating itself here. We can't use the se, it has to be nous. And then our verb, nous chamaillons. Se chamailler, lovely sounding verb. It means to bicker with. Okay, so this translation would just be we bicker. Okay. Last one. Je s'entends bien avec ma famille. Okay, back to s'entendre. Looking down, we know that we've got to use me, but we're going to be careful because our verb starts with a vowel. So we're going to change this one to je m'entends bien. And this means I get on well with my family. Okay, right. The last exercise that we're going to do is we are going to put the verb in brackets into the correct form. Okay, so in brackets we have got the infinitive, and you can see that the infinitive has just got the S reflexive pronoun, and we need to change that according to who is doing the action. Okay, normalement je s'amusais. Okay, let's go back to s'amuser and remind ourselves that we need to use me with je. So this one is going to be je m'amuse. Okay, you're not being asked to translate, but I'm just going to do that for you. Normally, I have fun with my family. Okay, à mon avis, je se disputais. Again, this is our problem. So je me dispute. Because I'm changing these infinitives into the I form, I take off the ER and I put back an E. Okay, à mon avis, je me dispute souvent avec mon frère. In my opinion, I argue often with my brother. Okay, again, if you're happy to complete 3, 4 and 5 on your own, pause the video and I'm going to carry on working them out. Okay, and there you have it. Each time you have to conjugate the verb and you have to do something with the reflexive pronoun. And you can see that I've done it with each one of these. So there you go, reflexive verbs which are perfect for the families topic.